Hello, my name is Peggy Knight, and I'm the author of Thriving with Hair Loss. This is an excerpt from Chapter 3, Holy Sutures. I thought I'd found the holy grail of answers. A wig sutured to my head was the biggest headache of my alopecia journey. One day, while in Hawaii, which was my home of 10 years, I saw a commercial for a permanent solution to baldness. A man wearing a toupee dove into a pool, swam across, came out the other end, and shook his head. It didn't move. I found out later that he had hair sutured to my head. This was my answer. After all, I was desperate. If I had hair permanently attached to my head with sutures, my wig would not fly off in the Hawaiian trade winds. And surely I would be secure at last. Off I marched to see the doctor, and days later I was prepped for surgery. Long running stitches around the perimeter of my head. And that's what they used to attach my new wig to the sutures. It was days before the headache subsided. Each and every suture entry and exit point was swollen and painful. The infection from the wig bacteria took years to heal. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to go to a doctor because I was afraid of exposing my secret that I was bald. After enduring this misery for several years, I noticed my wig was turning red in color. Now I know it's a natural process. It's called oxidation. Again, I was too embarrassed to see a trained stylist or colorist, so I decided to dye it myself. I went to the store, bought a box of Lady Clairol, read the instructions, headed for the shower, and the second the peroxide hit my open, oozing sutures, the excruciating pain began. I slumped down in the shower, crying and wished that I could die. It was that bad. My best friend picked me up and took me to the emergency room, where an ER doctor looked at me in horror and said, his exact words were, "Who did this to you? And you're lucky this infection did not go to your brain." As the doctor removed my sutures, I cried, not because of the overwhelming pain, but because I felt as though my security was being cut away. To this day, almost 50 years later, I still have scars all around my head from those sutures. This horrible story was the beginning of the birth of my mission. After 40 years of working with women with hair loss, I have learned that there are only two things that are important to them. One, security. Two, a natural look. In my attempt to have both naturally looking hair and have it secured properly to my head, I almost lost my life. I vowed at that time that no one would ever have to go through what I did to have hair. As a result of this vow, my first company was born. It was called Night and Day Hair Products many years ago. Stay tuned for Chapter 3.